In this question, you're being asked to analyze the table of values listed here, and to then pick all of the correct statements that go with that table of values. So I want to analyze my table of values, and specifically the y values here. So I can see that my y value starts at negative 5.5, then negative 3, so it's going up, then negative 1.5, going up again, then negative 1. Now it starts to go back down. Negative 1.5, negative 3, negative 5.5. So we can see that we reached a maximum. That maximum occurred at negative 1. So that's got to be where my vertex is. So as soon as it reaches that maximum value, that's where our vertex is located. So at negative 0.5, negative 1. So let's go and start answering some of their questions. It says this function has a minimum. No, it reached a maximum. The highest this graph ever got to was at negative 1. So the function has a maximum, and that occurs at negative 1. That's where our vertex is. Good. Because this graph has a maximum, we know that it opens downward. Now we need to determine how many x-intercepts it has. So my vertex is located at negative 0.5, negative 1, so below the x-axis. And we know that this graph opens downwards. So it's below the x-axis, opening downwards. That means that it will never cross the x-axis. So it has 0 x-intercepts. And lastly, for our y-intercept. Parabolas always have one y-intercept. That y-intercept occurs when x equals 0. So in between these 2 points here, we can see that x would be equal to 0. And that we would have a given y value associated with that. So this graph is going to have one y-intercept, where it crosses the y-axis. Checking our answers, and we're good.